It doesn't necessarily protect you from bad outcomes for COVID-19, is what I would say. Those are all fantastic things for being healthy, and they're great things, and you should do them anyway. But when we're thinking about specific interventions for COVID-19, we know people who are otherwise well, doing everything else, can still have severe outcomes. So this is an added layer of protection on top of that. We shouldn't think about it as an or, we should think about it as an and. You know, we want you to do those things, and we also want you to have the COVID-19 vaccine so we can maximize your protection.
It is a and in terms of hauora and looking after yourself. Kia tikanga kai, kia kurikuri tō tinana, kia pai tō moe hoki. So that and of supporting your hauora and your immune system by doing the right things, like Anthony said, as well as having the vaccine. And I'll also add what we've learned over the last year as well in terms of looking after yourself, in terms of good hand hygiene, using the Tracer app, still important. All those other things that we've done, wearing a mask when you're on public transport, those are still important too, and those are part in addition to the vaccine rollout rather than a or replacing it. It's all of the above. It's all of those things that are really still important.
And I think that will be a really important thing once we roll this vaccine out, is all of those other things we just talked about are still going to be a critical part about protecting ourselves and protecting our whānau, our wider community, because a lot of behaviours may change, and that's, I guess, what we don't want to do is we don't want to see people stop doing everything else, because those other things have been really important in protecting us, and we want those to continue on. At some point, the border will open, and people will come from countries that have high rates of COVID. And that will include people returning home potentially with COVID, and we still need to make sure that we can contact trace those people. We know where we've been, we can protect ourselves through all of those other mechanisms we've been using up till now.
Right, and just to add that along with the vaccine helping yourself and protecting you from COVID, but also in your whānau and koe and kaumātua, those who are more at risk of COVID, it's also about preventing future lockdowns. I think in future we have to come back to some level of normalcy, not only in terms of moving in and out of alert levels, but also being able to have contact with whānau overseas. I've got whānau in Australia. They haven't been able to come back, and similarly friends and whānau here who have had mokopuna and they can't travel. And so part of what I think of the vaccine is a chance, as part of all the other tools we've just talked about, is about being able to look after not only yourself, but also being able to have those chances again of being able to return and having people come back into Aotearoa as well.